Everyone, I know that you all did not vote for the dedicated noise mill deck to win the viewer's choice. However, I'm back with a vengeance, with a reskin of this noise deck, but it's still at its very core a dedicated mill deck. And this one, I feel, really has the potential to mill the corp into oblivion if they're too slow. So basically, this deck revolves around Gravedigger, which, well, the developers of this game printed out such an uninteractive card for the game. If you all don't like uninteractive noise mill, that's too bad. This card is out, and I'm going to play it to the fullest. So I'm building around Gravedigger, which means that I'm going to have a whole host of stuff that synergize with Gravedigger, including Imp, which trashes in-store assets and upgrades, Parasite, which trashes in-store ice, and Incubator, to incubate the Gravedigger when both of the above options are not available. And the key kicker of this deck is Steam Dealer. It's not the best card in the game, but I feel that it really works very well in this deck because the main limitation of Gravedigger, like all the other cards that involve milling, like Data Leak Reversal, like Hemorrhage, the limitation to all of these cards is that you are trading one of your clicks for one of the corpse cards in R&D. So this 1-for-1 trade is really not worth it at all unless you have a lot of clicks to blow on milling the corp, and that is where Steam Dealer comes in as a source of infinite clicks, as long as you can sustain the brain damage. So if you look at my opening hand, you can see that it's amazing. Not only does it have an incredible amount of cash, but it also has both origamis. So I can maintain a huge hand size, and take all the brain damage in the world from Steam Dealer. So the opening turn is pretty obvious. I install both my viruses and I run archives for a free agenda, should there be any. Turns out there isn't any. I'm up against Stronger Together, which means I can expect lots of Bioroids. Not very relevant in this game because I'm not playing Account Siphon. If I have an Account Siphon, I'll be blind siphoning my way to victory. Yes, it's the same opponent in one of my previous games. He's playing a slight variation of this deck. He tweaked this deck before we went for a rematch. And yeah, I'm playing a different deck altogether. This is a very nasty deck. I brought it to my local game store and it basically won all of its games. It even won a game against Astrobiotics, Nerf Hub Astrobiotics, that's right. Granted, my opponent got unlucky and did not expect the contents of this deck, but and it could be due to high variance. Of course, yes, I could have just gotten very lucky that game, but I really think that this deck is pretty decent. So the key thing to this deck is that you need a lot of money and a lot of card draw. I'm getting a lot of money. The caches are now grown into daily casts, and I have an ESOPs going. So I'm going to be flooded with cash. Cash is not a problem. The problem is drawing cards. I do have a lot of card draw in this deck. I have about 2 or 3 I've had worse, and 3 of each Quality Time and Earthrise Hotel. This ensures that for every click I spend on card draw, I'm getting maximum benefit, which is important. Firstly, because it means that I can install more viruses instead of drawing cards, and more importantly, it makes Steam Dealer worth it. Steam Dealer is not worth it if you are spending 1 click to draw 1 card, because that basically overrides the free clicks that you get because the brain damage cancels the free click. But with massive card draw, as I'm about to get here, it can be really good. So I installed the Earthrise Hotel. It basically means I'm trading 1 click for 6 cards. And I don't have to worry about the install cost because I'm flooded with cash, as I mentioned. Daily cast is running. I have an ESOPs going. This is looking very good. Of course, I've already sustained my first brain damage from Steam Dealer, but in the meantime, I'm getting lots of free clicks. Now I'm on the click. In the Steam Dealer stage where both of my Steam Dealers are accumulating power tokens, which means that I have a 6-click turn. This 6-click turn is very powerful. You can do a lot of things with those 6 clicks, and here I'm looking to just mass install viruses. In this case, get lots of caches up. Ideally, this wouldn't be what you want to do. What you want to do is to get a massive Gravedigger turn, maybe unload an Incubator on Gravedigger and mill 5 cards, something to that effect. But unfortunately, my incubators are coming too late. I'm making a huge mistake here. I'm not installing the incubator when I should be. That's because I'm digging for my grimoire. I really want to see that grimoire so that I can yeah, install more programs without having to trash them. I want to sell as many programs to eShops as possible. So here I make another mistake. I install origami. The third copy of origami is almost always not needed, but that's something I discovered only when playing this deck a lot. Unless you're up against a Scorched Earth or Flatline deck, you don't need all 3 copies of origami. 2 is enough. That will give you a hand size of 9. The game will almost certainly end before you take 10 brain damage, so it's fine. Alright, so yes, I've perfectly folded my origami, and as you see, I'm playing completely passive. Right now, I'm just digging for my Grimoire. I have 5 clicks this turn, but I don't see anything much. Finally, I find my Grimoire. This is what I'm looking for. Yes, now the game is on. With one last click, the obvious move here is to install the Incubator, which will place a huge pressure on the core. Incubator is a very important card to this deck. Even if it forces a Virus Purge from the core, you are winning already. And if they don't purge it, you are going to get a massive mill off. In the meantime, he scores what is the biggest counter to noise, Hades Shard. Dear oh dear, that's not good. Alright, so this is another one of my 5 click turns. I gain 1 click from one Steam Dealer, and the other one ticks for 1 brain damage. So with 2 Steam Dealers out, you're guaranteed 5 click turns, and you even have 1 6 click turn. So this insane number of clicks will really propel you through the game. So here, knowing that he doesn't have a Jackson, I'm going to run his archives with the couple of cards I've milled with the viruses I've installed so far, and the Gravedigger. Now, the amazing thing about Gravedigger is that when you play it with Grimoire, you get 2 mills. One from Noise Mill, installing a virus, and one from using the virus token that comes with Grimoire. So 2 mills for the price of 1 install. That costs 2 credits. Actually 1 credit because I'm installing it on Charizard. So that's amazing value for card. For 1 card, you get 2 mills. That's amazing. And the Gravedigger stays on your board and will be activated if the corp decides to trash any cards. So that is another amazing thing about it. It actually works even on trashes such as if the corp installs ice over the existing ice, you will get virus counters on Gravedigger. If they install assets over in their new over existing assets, that is considered as an install card trash. You also get a virus counter on Gravedigger. It's an amazingly underrated card. So here, knowing that he's stronger together, I take the risk to run his R&D, unloading an Incubator, and clicking through his Pyroid. Notice that this was only possible with my 6 click turn. That was my 6 click turn. I spend my entire turn, install medium, unload medium, make a run, and spend my clicks breaking the Victor. It would not have been possible if I did not have those clicks. So these clicks are so important, not just against Pyroids. I mean, especially against Pyroids, because, come on, Eli is played in almost every deck. So having 5 or 6 clicks a turn is definitely a menace to be worried about if you're the corp. And yeah, the Steam Dealers are heavily paying off right now. For every free click I get is basically another mill. So of course the big issue is, even though I'm milling a lot of cards, I'm not accessing them. That could be a problem. Still, being able to get through R&D like that without any breakers and fetching a priority requisition really helps my game. Now the main method for my main victory condition is the last card that you see in my hand, Hades Shard. Of course, a lot of corps will expect Hades Shard and will reshuffle with Jackson. However, with the incredible speed at which you mill cards and the presence of Deja Vu, you can it's very hard to play around Hades Shard as the corp. You only have 1 or 2 Jackson Howards to play with throughout the entire game, unless you're playing Archive Memories or Interns. Yeah, those cards are pretty nasty. And yeah, you can't really survive the virus mill. It is intense. So at this point, I've actually sustained a lot of brain damage. This game has been dragging on for quite long because it's against Glacier HP after all. I've already sustained 5 brain damage, and I'm actually decking myself out faster than the corp, which isn't really a surprise because he has a Hades Shard, so I will probably never deck him this game. My job here is to mill his deck and then access it with one good Hades install. So that's what I'm looking to do. Unfortunately, as you see from my hand, I'm running dry of viruses. Most of the viruses I have are already installed. So here's what I do. On my 6th click turn, notice this is another 6th click turn, I perform a first click, incubate Parasite to destroy the ice that was on R&D. So yes, you must be willing to use incubators like that, and my second click was running, and that netted me all the agendas I needed to win the game. He then showed me later that he was 1 credit short of raising the Wotan that would have kept me out. I was not getting that server because you can't. Actually, I would have gone through that server. I would have taken the brain damage. I would have clicked through it because I have the clicks. I have the money to pay through it, and I could easily uninstall my something, probably the Steam Dealer. So yes, I would have still made it through the Wotan, but not without some heavy losses. I would have still won regardless. So yeah, you could say that Bioroid Ice is a huge weakness to my deck because if you have noticed, the hallmark of this deck, aside from everything that I've mentioned so far, which is pretty crazy, you don't really see Steam Dealers and Gravediggers being played, but the biggest trademark of this deck is that I run 0 icebreakers. Not a single icebreaker. I don't really care about breaking ice when I can access cards with Hades Shard. If your ice is porous, like you're running Bioroid Ice or things like Pop-Up Window, that's a bonus for me. I'm going to get free medium accesses. That's your loss. Otherwise, I can play very well with just Hades Shard and lots of milling. No, I don't even run David, even though David is not an icebreaker. I would actually love to run David. It's a very good backup plan for when Hades Shard gets sniped by the brain damage from Steam Dealer, which will happen a lot, and I need to manually run archives to fetch my agendas. In those cases, I really do need to be able to break through the ice on archives. Parasites can take care of the lower strength ice, but for the higher strength ice, I would really love a David. So that is a possible change to my deck that I would make. But otherwise, I really love this deck. A lot of people don't really know what to expect when they see all these random cards. I mean, Origami, Steam Dealer, really? But it's actually pretty effective. It's not so good against fast decks, and any decks with any form of recursion, Jackson Howard recursion for that matter, will stomp over this deck as well. This deck is also horrible if your opponent knows exactly what you're playing, because they will just rush out agendas in a remote that's protected by a wall of static. You can't really do anything about that unless you have a loaded incubator and a parasite ready to go. Bringing a runner deck without icebreakers to a store championship is absolutely suicidal. I wouldn't do that myself. However, in a casual setting against good players, the surprise factor is absolutely killer. I love it. Thanks for watching and happy net running. Goodbye.